Hello, awesome people of the internet. After a summer break, I'm finally back and ready with a movie talks this time. I've missed you so much, and I have been thinking so much about this movie all over the summer because this is the first movie talks where I chose a movie and persuaded my husband to see it. Yeah, roles reversed once. And it is Embrace. It is a documentary by Taryn Brumfitt, and it is like from 2016, I'm pretty sure, and it's such a good movie. As always with movie talks, I'll start with just a short why you should or shouldn't watch this, and then spoilers in the documentary, I don't know, but a spoiler-filled part 2 with what I liked and disliked about the movie. So Embrace is a movie about embracing your body. It's a movie about body image and body positivity. So my biggest why you should watch this is, of course, if you're interested in that movement. Then of course watch this video because it's always nice to see more of what you're interested in. But I would also like to challenge you. If you're not totally into that whole thing, fat acceptance or whatever, try and watch this movie just so that it can, challenge you, challenge your worldview just a little. Maybe you'll be positively surprised. And the third and very most important reason for you to watch this is if you are in any way struggling with your body image. This helps. I can't see any way this will not help you. So please watch it. So 3 very good reasons for you to watch this. And I hope you will watch it. If only just to show support to the entire movement. That's okay with me. But of course there are reasons why you should not watch this. But it's one of the movies where I've had trouble finding good reasons. But I found one. If you are one of those people who just have to tell people that they are unhealthy, that you have to tell them that they should just get up and exercise more, you're probably not the type of person who would like this movie. And you're probably the type of person who should take a look inside yourself before you write anything on the internet ever again. But let's leave that for another video. Anybody else than that? Go ahead and watch it. So I've just went through an entire July hoping to have my summer vacation with one day that defines as a summer day. And now I have to get back to work and back to shooting videos, and summer is coming. Brace yourself, Denmark happened. Yeah. But back to what we were talking about. What do I like about this movie? The first thing that I really like about this movie is that Taryn, the woman who makes this documentary, she has chosen a wide variety of people to visit in this documentary. She's just not looking all over the world for fat people who love themselves. Actually, not even the majority of fat. She visits people who are all kinds of different, in all kinds of ways. And I really like that. So she covers so many different perspectives of body positivity. Like the woman who was burned all over her face. Wow, that was inspirational. You could see how pretty she had used to be, and she was skinny and athletic. And now she was just really happy, even though in modern society we would say she'd lost her looks. Such an inspiration. Your happiness and your looks are not dependent on each other's. And what society says is not always the truth. Beauty is not just some kind of frame that big companies have decided. Beauty is just everywhere. You just have to look for it. This also means that she can honestly say that she did not make a fat acceptance movie. She made a body positive movie. And I think that's really important. This is not a movie about fat acceptance. This is a movie that accepts fat people, but is about body positivity. It's about embracing whatever you've got. And that's the most important message I think is in this movie. Another thing that I really like and that really makes this movie so warm is that Taryn is just such a warm person. She smiles and she is soft in her spirit, and she really just embraces everybody into this community. You feel like there's room for you in her heart, even though it's just a movie. And that gives this movie and the message a lot of dimension and a lot of depth. Another thing I really love is the experts she has chosen to use in this movie. That's really, really good work. And it makes you think a lot more that there is a mix between personal stories and experts talking about actual science. You know, that they can actually say that dieting will not help you because of the physics behind dieting and then gaining weight and your body wanting to do everything to gain it back and stuff. So it's not just people like, oh, I turned ugly and now I love myself because I have nothing else to do. It's like, this is scientifically correct that we should not conform to society's beauty standards because it's impossible for 95% of the people of this earth. And that makes me feel kind of good that it's not just personal testimony, all of it. One of the women she interviews says something like, this body is a comfort to my husband and my kids. The entire movie does this, where it looks at the body as a tool for stuff you can do, as a piece of furniture for your kids to comfort them, as much more than just a beautiful vase or something. You know, it's an object to be used for stuff. It gets you around, it treats you well, it digests all your food, it comforts your husband and kids. I remember this from when I was a kid very, very clearly. My mom always used to talk so negatively about her body. And I remember that clearly. But one thing I do remember about how I felt about her body and how I felt about my aunt's body. You know, that body type they have is quite the same, with a heavy bust and quite round, but not like obese or anything. They're just very soft. And I remember that from my childhood so clearly, just crawling up there and everything was soft and comforting. It was the best feeling ever. And all my mom thought about was how she didn't, live up to certain aesthetics. But all I felt was like, this is soft, this is perfect, this is my mom. And this movie reminded me that now I'm the grown-up and I have to think about this too. I'm soft now. I'm the comfort now, potentially. The final point in what I liked about this movie is my husband's reaction to the movie. When we were done watching it, and I must admit I kind of had to force him to watch it because it's a documentary about something that mostly female people care about. And he hasn't got any body image issues whatsoever. So it was kind of a far reach for him to really feel this movie. But what he really understood when we were finished with this was like, he sat there and just wondered. And then he said something like he always understood that some women, especially, and some people had parts of their body that they disliked. Fair enough, a little too flabby of a stomach, a little too low of a boob, or whatever. But this movie made him understand that a lot of women dread their entire body, finds it absolutely disgusting. A lot of women hate it all. We saw it when she had these little clips of describe your body with one word, and it really hit him. He really understood that the issue wasn't, if I just tone up my arms, this will leave me and I'll be happy. That's so far beyond that. That wouldn't solve anything. And I'm pretty sure this is when he really got that the issue is up here. it's not down here, because it's not just one thing that needs to be fixed. If I were to be happy about my body, I would have to change it all into Angelina Jolie. And that's not gonna happen because I'm not her. So it's up here. And he really understood that, and we had a good chat about that, because it changed his entire perspective of when we have conversations. When I come to him and I say, I just feel so fat, or I just feel so disgusting, he understood that talking about how to exercise more will not help me, because this is not dependent on exercise. This is all in my head. So it gave him quite a bigger dimension of understanding how a lot of people actually feel. And that was the best thing I could have wanted from this entire movie. Really, the best thing. And I gotta say, thank you, Taryn, for that thing. That was amazing. And to be fair, I felt like I had to come up with something I didn't like about this movie. And when I just finished, I watched the movie twice, and both times I was like, I love this, all of it. It's perfect. Give me more, make more movies. But I watched this before the summer, and having had time to think about it for a good month or so, there is actually one thing that kind of hit me a little bit. And I know this was not intentional, but I was kind of left with a feeling that every time Taryn herself or another person with children talked about their body image, it was always like, it was a little bit of an excuse, like, my boobs, they fed 4,000 meals to my 3 children. Well, saggy boobs are okay, even if you didn't breastfeed a child a day in your life. Or like, my body can be chubby because it's a comfort for my children. It's like, no, it's not an excuse that you have children, because you should never need an excuse to look like you look. It's just a circumstance, just like mental or physical health is a circumstance, just like what your parents and adult people told you when you were a child, and whether or not you really love chocolate. It's all circumstances, but it's not an excuse. And I was left feeling a little bit like, if you're a mom, it's a little more okay to embrace and be body positive. But I know that's not the intention. I know that. It just, some way, got into my back head. And I really had to tell myself, that's not true. Oh, honey, that's not true. You're not more entitled to your body and to love your body because you had children. Maybe some of you have other dislikes that I haven't thought about, and I would like to hear that. What didn't you like? What stuck in your head at something? This shouldn't have been in the movie. Anything? Please let me know. Because if you're just all too positive about a movie, it's really hard to stay critical. I'm gonna stop myself now. I'm not gonna talk anymore about this. Now you know what I liked, what I disliked, and you can just add in your opinion in the comments, and I'll be back with another movie talk anytime soon. What do you think I should watch? I'm considering making my husband watch the Okja movie, the Netflix original. Do you have any other suggestions? Well, anyway, I will see you soon for another great video, and until then, see you soon. Oh, and why don't you just subscribe to my channel? I promised my husband to make it to 250 subscribers by the end of the year. He promised me he'd reach 2,000 subscribers then. So I'm hoping I'll win that competition.